What I was going to go through is how Oxfordshire drains at the moment, how we should be doing it, and the problems, etc. At the moment, positive systems. Now, I'm like you, or probably a lot older than some of you. Started off pipes, gullies, pipes, to streams, etc. So the old system, positive drainage systems, we've done for many years. And we're gullies to manholes to stream outfalls. And we've heard about the Water Framework Directive today, and all that black wash going through from the gullies into stream outfalls. Gullies to dishes, stream outfalls, better because dishes will catch some of that. Gullies, manholes, soakaways, boreholes. We have a lot of that in Oxfordshire because we've got a lot of chalk and brash and stuff, but you can't clean soakaways very well, especially in chalk, because water acts on chalk, turns block chalk to putty chalk and seals up. So that's the maintenance. Grips, ditch and to stream outfalls. Grips don't get maintained. You'll see the little slight indent in the verge, don't you? Problems we're experiencing. Block gullies, silty pipes, silty soakaways, block boreholes, overgrown block ditches. These are expensive to maintain because you can't do half of them properly. Cleaning soakaways. The only way to clean a soakaway is dig out round the soakaway for a good half metre and replace the material. What do? Inside with the jet trying to blast the holes. It doesn't work. And you can't clear boreholes. So we get problems like these. Blocked curb offlets, gullies buried and covered in muck, as an access pushed over and there's extra tarmac in. Small pipes in the sides, but the verge is built up, so water runs on past. I know you haven't quite so much in London, because there's quite a few London boroughs here, but in the rural counties, it's what we have all the time. And it's just nothing but problems. What's making it worse? Lack of maintenance due to cost. They're cutting our budgets. They're looking at new ways to make money, to save money. They're making our consultant contractor, take the risk. So they've told recently, said, you will clean 30% of the gullies a year. You choose the gullies, because you've done you found out where they all are, and you've obviously decided what the worst ones are. Well, they haven't done that properly. You know, what's it going to do? It's going to give us a nightmare. Because who do they read? Block gullies that come through to the drainage team. My gully's blocked. How can you tell them? Well, you're probably one of the 30%, you're one of the 60% not being done. It's crazy. What will this give us? More flooding, more complaints. Systems will break down in the long run. In 10, 20 years' time, they're going to need a big injection of money to clean stuff. And it won't be there, will it? I mean, all councils are being cut left, right and centre. All budgets being chopped. What can we do? Think outside the box. Change the type of drainage we're installing. Part of my remit, being the drainage agent of the county, is to lessen the cost of maintenance of our drainage system, reduce the costs all the time. Now, cleaning gullies, cleaning manholes, boreholes, they're expensive. So we've got to find different types of drainage which are cheaper to maintain, but just as effective. Be creative. Porous pavements you've heard about today already. We've got 30, 40 plus porous pavement systems, adopted highways in the county. Not a problem. What really convinced me in 2007, when that big flooding, the roads which didn't flood were the porous pavements. You know, in those estates, round there, solid roads, they didn't flood, the other roads did. Because you've got that much storage underneath, it takes it. It's great. If you've got steep porous pavement roads, you put check dams in the road coming down, so you're holding back the flows going through. You need to put in, on the bottom right, the strip across set, service strips. So you make the utility companies go in the service strips only. They don't ruin the porous pavements. The porous pavements last longer. The only thing with porous pavements, which hasn't been said so far, is you will get manholes in, like the bottom left one. If they're going to be manholes in there, could be foul sewer manholes or whatever, they need to go in with the pattern, because you don't want little chips of blocks. because they come out. You know, and just a look a mess. So the manholes have got to be turned with the pattern. Now normally you'll find that the manholes go in first, the block layer will come along, then try and fit round the cover. Well, it's not hard to move the cover rapid sets of concrete, is it? It's only 10-minute set or something. You turn it round and do it. You know, but as supervision, you've got to make sure this is done. Otherwise, you get a mess. On all estate roads we're using, all new developments, porous pavement, but not bus routes. As you've heard from Steve, the blocks will move, especially like outside schools where the old school bus comes in, turns round, etc. So tertiary routes through developments, they're black. Install we've had a problem this year, early in the year, drought conditions in Oxfordshire. Our tree people planted thousands of trees last year. Then they were told, sorry, you can't take water out of the mains to water them because this is drought conditions. So what we're doing now is you need to put in storage areas, sealed areas perhaps leading off the porous pavement, where your tree contractor, your maintenance people can take out the water. It's kept full from porous pavement in the rain, and so you've got a supply of water on site. So again, thinking outside the box, rather than just have it soak away, evaporate, we need storage as well to help water the plants in the developments, because it's cheaper and it's there when there's drought conditions. And we're going to get drought and flood, aren't we? It seems like. Retrofit porous pavements. We haven't done any in Oxfordshire, I must admit. Obviously, to retrofit a porous pavement, the road's got to be completely knackered. You know, otherwise, it's not cost effective. I mean, you can go in and do small bits of roads, etc. But if you're doing the whole road, the road's got to be shot, and that's the only way it does get cost effective. And then, great, building planters, build outs with plant trees and etc. Great. You know, the Americans do it. Hydro bringing out boxes with it all in. Ideal. Why not? All the plants are fed by the porous pavement, or curb gullies, or curb drainage, or whatever. Cheap maintenance. Swales. We use swales a lot in Oxfordshire. You can put them anywhere. That left hand was a small area of land. The contractor missed the gully off. So put the gully in. Rather than digging across his brand new road to the soakaway, we just created a low area in the bit of verge, and it works fine. New industrial estate road on the right hand side. This is one of the first we did. We actually put sort of chutes down, which we didn't really need. But what you must make sure is that with verges to swales, you're at least 25 mil below the tarmac. My trouble is, I do all the checking, all design checks, and agree with the consultants and developers. Then the Section 38 engineer comes along. Oh, this is an old boy, and they say, the soil always settles. And of course it stays up. So you've got a ridge there, you've got a false curb. You know, always put it down so the water runs off the edge. You know, don't listen to these old boys, I'm afraid. You know. Bit on the bottom right is an overflow from an oil interceptor. Sandy area, grass, so off a small roundabout interceptor, it overflows, it comes there. Again, you know, nice and sort of useful area. And small swale drop curbs into an area there where you're flowing. And you can plant trees in the swales. The developer on this estate, we just have the road. He actually kept wanting the swales on his land, so we planted them. That's fine. Oh, the other thing about swales, they don't have to be like that. You can straight back to the back of the verge with a small sharp stake there, and that whole area fills up as well. It doesn't have to be like that at all. So again, think outside the box. Also on developments, if you've got a straight verge going back as a swale, it's a play area too, for kids, football. It's 5 metres wide, ideal. Better than just a curved base. Over the edge drainage, cheap to maintain. Grips with curved droppers, safe and cheap. Grips tend to be, you get farm vehicles, they run the edge and block them. You put two curbs and a dropper, and they don't. Wide swales so cars can drive through them safe. Have filter drains under the grass linking swales. Construct check dams to slow the water flows down. The one on the right, we put stone check dams and the swale. The idea is as it builds up, the flow is slowed down going along. And in that case, we used a local stone. It was a bit soft, it crumbled a bit. But never mind. Swales on the left with a filter drain underneath. The two. Again, swales, you can see, again, the verge is slightly high. Yeah, it will soak in still, but it's better if it's lower. One on bottom left is swale off the road, and that's fine coming through. All planted, that fills up water, and it looks good. Ponds. Side slopes of ponds, 1 in 3 or flatter. Yeah, or step them. No I don't believe in fencing around ponds. You know, if you fence around them or put big concrete structures in them, kids jump off it. It's there to be jumped off of. So I'd rather have head walls in the shape of the embankments. Use natural stone. Yeah, make it look nice. Yeah, there's nothing work. I mean, I've done it in the past. Big head walls in, bag work, block work. It's better to put concrete round a pipe and push in local stone, so it looks more natural. Or build that local stone. I've no problem adopting ponds. You don't have to plant them. Usually, if you build a pond, the reeds are there in within 5 minutes, and you're chopping them back. And they look good good for the environment, good for the local kids, everything. Good water storage, looks good on developments, helps sell developments. Flat side slopes, no fencing, hard concrete head walls, use natural materials, vegetation grows quick. With ponds and anything where you're going to maintain reeds and things, you need to have set areas aside near them for depositing reeds and stuff, because they're all pollutant materials, and they'll charge you more to take them to tip. So if you can put it on site, in with hedges around it so you can't see it, ideal. Curb line drainage. Keep surface high to drain swales of ponds, connects roof drainage to the back of units. One site on the left there, we actually put all the roof drainage down into the back of the units. That keeps them cleaner. In fact, they haven't been cleaned in 5-6 years. Low areas, ideal. Especially if you've got a lot of towns in your area, that'll be London, okay. If you've got tarmac roads, you've got a curb there. Some developers like curbs, you know, to find the entrance into the site. But at least with the curb drainage, you can come up high at the back and into a swale. Cost of drainage maintenance. Most roads now require lane closures. Standard road gullies cleanse once a year if you're lucky. Manholes check and clean when there is flooding. I'm sure that's the thing that happens in Oxfordshire. Pipes only cleanse when there is flooding. So if there's a problem arises, there's blockage, then they say, oh, the pipes need cleaning. They're not cleaned otherwise. They chop in maintenance all the time. But in our county, which is crazy, but you know, you can understand savings. Maintenance of porous pavements. Take commuter sums from developers. We've been doing this for the last 10 years. Basically, I mean, I worked out a commuter sum of about £8,000 to do a small development. And that'll maintain it for 25, 30 years with that and some weed killing as well. It's not a lot of money when they consider, I know some developers do complain, oh, it costs more than the standard tarmac road, but when you take out the gullies, the pipes, the ironwork, the flood storage areas, because we now insist on greenfield runoff from developments, so if they're not putting porous pavements in, they're putting large flood storage somewhere, they definitely equate, if not cheaper. Over the edge around swales, mow 1 to 3 times a year, litter picking. You know, it's so cheap. You know, even once a year, once every 2 years, and country roads. As long as they're set down below the tarmac, they will still work. It's also good for the environment. Maintenance of ponds. Creates wildlife areas, remove sectionary once every 3 to 4 years, use local area to compost, work with locals and schools, they can take over the maintenance. They enhance the areas. I mean, the locals, we've got estates going in now where we're working with developers and it's all porous. We had a question before lunch. In Oxfordshire, I've gone around to the developers and consultants and said, when we're the SAB, when it finally comes, I expect, but we'll start now, the whole site's to be drained as one. So you look at the site as one entity, so it's all suds. So if the soakage in areas is not good enough, you're going to connect those to the porous pavement roads, and they're going to run down through into swales, into ponds, and overflow out of the site. So you have to look at these sites as one entity. I do not see water companies being involved in major developments or developments in the future, only for the foul sewers. Because the SAB will take over the suds through, and there'll be no need to have a water company, surface water sewer on the site. What should we do? Provide systems that are safe and cheap to maintain. You should design for maintenance. You know, there's lots of fancy designs, but to me, you have to look at something. How can I maintain that? If it's expensive to maintain, don't want it. I want something cheap to maintain. And there's always ways of doing maintenance. If not changing the design slightly, well, if you do this, it's cheaper for us in the long run. Protects our natural environment for future generations. They should be used for teaching aids for local residents. Get residents involved. I've done a flood bund in one area. Residents come, they're getting flooded. Had meetings with them. We walked around the area. Where we put a bund in? Got them involved. Got them walking around, looking areas what we could do. Finally decided on an area. They paid towards it. We got parish money. The county paid, EA paid, district council paid. But because the residents have all been involved in it, they're now looking after it. They're keeping an eye on it, make sure it's not damaged. It's not eaten through by rabbits or whatever else, you know. So if you get people involved and get them involved in it, they get personal. Then it's their flood defence, it's their pond. And I think it's the way to go. And that's that. 20 minutes, I think.